Let's look back at the night Daniel Bryan became WWE Champion. And what a fantastic SummerSlam. I'm just gonna level with all of you. This is my favorite SummerSlam. It's the one that I grew up watching, it's the one that I adored. You can make the argument that it's just a two-match show, but even the other stuff, while not the best, it was still really entertaining, and there was actually a lot of really entertaining stuff throughout the show. Even though it does have its moments like the Total Diva stuff, and the fact that the Shield were moved to the pre-show of all places. Um, I basically just remember having a good time and rewatching it. I was so stoked that we got to see this show, and I was really happy with it. And it's gonna go down as my favorite SummerSlam because of what it meant to me growing up watching it as a kid, even though I was 14 when this came out. JoJo kicks off the night singing America the Beautiful. Then we have honestly the worst match of the show, the Ring of Fire match, which was Bray Wyatt and Kane. It wasn't an Inferno match, even though it was set up like an Inferno match. All you had to do is wrestle, and basically the fire was just to keep Luke and Eric out of it. The only thing I found stupid is that they put a blanket over the fire, and then they just went through, and then they just beat up Kane, and then it led to Bray Wyatt getting his victory over Kane. Honestly, it was a good way to set up Bray Wyatt, but overall, this match was not that great. But it's what you expect. I really wish someone got set on fire, even if it was just briefly. But like, I don't know, if they weren't gonna set anybody on fire, then they should just had a regular one-on-one match. If I'm being honest. Damian Sandow versus Cody Rhodes. This was a very entertaining feud. If I'm being honest, this was very entertaining. I just had a lot of fun with this feud, with Cody stealing the briefcase, throwing it off the river. Damian Sandow jumping off to go get it, and eventually he gets the briefcase for the for like an interview. It was a really cool briefcase. A lot of people hate it, but it was part of his character, and I really, really enjoyed it. Damian Sandow was very underrated. I really wish they went all out. Like, he made everything work. He was even the Miz's stunt double. He made that look good. Essentially, this was their way of finally building up Cody Rhodes as a top babyface. Even if they weren't going to give him the world title, he would have been a solid mid carder. You could hear all about it in his documentary, but man, that they dropped the ball with Cody early on. And Damian Sandow, they truly dropped the ball. He does have a great cash in match, but he really never recovered from his eventual cash in. But this match overall was really good, and this was around the time Cody had a mustache. He shaves that mustache, showing you that he's officially back as the babyface Cody that we know and love. Then we have Alberto Del Rio versus Christian. This was billed up as Christian's final chance at the world title. I believe this is his last world title match ever, because I think he gets injured and has to retire later on in the next couple months. But I really do like the chemistry between Del Rio and Christian. This was a further proof of how great they really were in the ring. I definitely like their chemistry. I really like this match. It's one of the more underrated matches out there. It was just unfortunate that I had to follow Brock and Punk and Cena Bryan, because this was honestly a really good match. One of the more underrated world title matches, and one of Alberto Del Rio's better work, if you can believe that. And Christian, I kind of wish he did win, unfortunately, but they just never saw him as the guy. But man, did we have a good match out of this. So yeah, really good match. Highly underrated. Natalia defeated Brie Bella. This was just to promote the Total Divas reality show. I would have just gone all out with it and do Natalia and the Funkadactyls versus Eva Marie and the Bellas, but we all know Eva Marie was horrible in the ring, which is probably why they didn't do that. Honestly, they didn't have too much of a bad match. It was all right, and Natalia was clearly a great workhorse. They just never saw her as nothing more. She had great matches. Maybe her character was missing. And then the Bella Twins. Well, Brie was good. Nikki. Anyways, yeah, this was okay, and I can't really hate it. And there was a side of me that kind of wished this was RVD and Dean Ambrose, but I get it. They wanted to make up for taking him out of the WrestleMania card, so I guess this is their way of saying I'm sorry. But man, did they apologize when they gave you Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk, the best versus the beast. This match slapped. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. It's a really good match. Just back and forth. You can make the argument that the storyline was Punk and Paul Heyman. Yes, it was, but Brock played a huge part in it. It's unfortunate we never got another match out of these guys. I know CM Punk left, but even with now with both men back in the company, I'm a little shocked we never got it sometime in between. I don't know. They just never managed to get that sequel in rematch. But this one match that they got, it was really good, and I was very happy with it. And it further continued on the story with Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Brock Lesnar just continued looking like a beast. He was a badass around this time. They do a tribute. They do the Tres Amigos. This was no DQ, but really, they really only used a chair because they just needed to spice this match up. This match was very fun. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, go out of your way and watch it. It's one of SummerSlam's greatest matches of all time. Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn beat Big E and AJ Lee. The real feud was Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee, but they couldn't do that match, so then they added Big E and Caitlyn to the mix. And it was alright. It was just like a match to kind of get you warmed up for the main event. And for that, I can't really fault it. I was hoping that Dolph Ziggler would be pushed back up to the world title picture. He never did, unfortunately. AJ Lee she was on top around this point. She became one of the longest Divas champions of all time. It didn't mean anything because she barely defended that thing, but she basically she carried the Divas division at a very horrible point, and I can't really fault her for that. Yeah, this was okay. Let's move on to what I really want to talk about: John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. Now, John Cena was injured. He had like a whole cast thingy. I forgot what it was called. And then Daniel Bryan, he was red hot. He was getting over with the yes chance. He had classics with the Shield, Randy Orton. We all thought he should have won Money in the Bank, but in hindsight, it made way more sense to have Randy Orton, given the outcome of this match. And we all thought John Cena was injured. Triple H is the referee. Is there going to be a bunch of interference? No. Daniel Bryan and John Cena just flat out have a great match, top to bottom. It's one of the best. I personally like this more than Brock and Punk, and that is a testament to show you how good this match is. They like to claim that this is the only time they ever competed one-on-one, and if so, go ahead, because the other matches that they had weren't as memorable or as great. The only ones I can remember is the Velocity one and the one in 2012 where it's John Cena winning. That one was pretty good, but this one was far better because the story was Daniel Bryan never gets a shot. Guys like Daniel Bryan never get a chance. John Cena's the face. Daniel Bryan wants to be proven that he can be the WWE champion, prove to other people that he is in fact the best, and he did. He beat John Cena clean. How many people can say that? And it's kind of poetic that they teamed up in SummerSlam 2010, and now years later they have this one match. Triple H, you forget Triple H was the referee. It looked like he took notes from 2011. But yeah, Daniel Bryan gets the victory. It was a great moment. Daniel Bryan is the WWE champion. We were all happy. And then Randy Orton comes. We tease the cash in. It doesn't happen. Triple H pedigrees Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton runs back in. They cash in 1, 2, 3. And then the whole story of this fall was Daniel Bryan trying to get back on top. And this was a solid story and a really good one because it helped further push Cody Rhodes, Goldust, the Usos. Even Big Show got pushed around this time. So they managed to do the best with what they got, and they finally listened. And the crazy part is that they never had the idea of having Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania, and the fans pushed hard for Daniel Bryan because they believed in Daniel Bryan. They loved Daniel Bryan. And it's why this is one of my favorite SummerSlams ever. It's my favorite SummerSlam. 8+, hands down. It's a really good show. Go out of your way to watch it. If you just want to watch those two matches, fine. Everything else is pretty solid. It's not too horrible. The only thing that I could generally say was bad was Wyatt and Kane, but at least the visual was there. Natalia and Brie at least carried the match. Like they got the best out of the Total Divas to fight, and then Ziggler and Caitlyn versus AJ Lee and Big E was entertaining for the most part. Even if you watched the pre-show, Rob Van Dam and Dean Ambrose, that was slightly entertaining, even though it ended in DQ. Del Rio and Christian was underrated. Like I said, Cody and Damian Sandow, another underrated mini feud that was really good. The feud itself was better than the match, but the match itself also was pretty solid. But really, it's all about the best versus the beast and the champ versus the beard. Go out of your way and watch those two matches, if anything. 2014, where we introduced Suplex City to the world. Anyways, we'll see you with that review very soon.